A good evening and welcome to Cornerstone Arena. I apologize for the delayed start and for the crappy looking scoreboard camera. I know it's hard to read, but I'll do my best for you. Right now, it is a 3-0 lead for the Allegany Junior Arrows as they have started this game hot, as they are looking to get their first win of the season, or at least their first known win. There are a few games that have not been made public yet. Don't know if the games were delayed or what the case may be, but the First Nations Junior B League has Allegany at 0-2. So the Arrows looking for win number 1 on the season. Tuscarora sits at 4-1. They lead the way right now in the First Nations League, as they've had a great start to their season, but not so much so in this game, as you may have seen a bit of it, you may not have. Once again, apologize for the delay, but 3 quick goals here from the Allegany Junior Arrows has put them in front 3-0. Now Tuscarora going to get their first big chance of the game here on the power play. It'll be Cash Jacobs starting it off for the Tomahawks as they rotate the ball around. Mike Hayes goes to Jacobs. Onto the far side. Here's Jake Gansworth. Gansworth over to Jacobs. Back to Gansworth. Gansworth takes a shot. Good save made there by Milwaukee Buffalo in the between the pipes here for Allegany. Buffalo getting the call, gonna face some heavy shots here from the Tomahawks, you'd have to imagine, on the power play. Right now, a minute 28 remaining in the penalty. That went to the Arrows captain, Kelvin George. Long rip there, stopped by Buffalo as Jacobs let it go. Rebound picked up by Jackson Krause as he looks to try and get up the floor. Going to have some trouble as he's under some heavy pressure, and it's a 10-second violation that will result in the turnover. Good play there for Tuscarora as they look to try and find their way back into this ball game, already down 3-0 here early. A power play goal right now would go a long way to helping them do so. Jake Gansworth gets it over to Jacobs on the near side. Jacobs drives in, but a violation off ball will give possession to Allegany. Try and see if we can get you a look at what it was here. Moving screen call possibly, but either way, the ball goes to the Arrows as they try and kill the rest of this penalty, or at least as much as they can. Not going to happen right here. Here comes Tuscarora in transition. Flipped over, dropped by Fryer. Was Caden Lyleby along with Evan Fryer moving in transition for Tuscarora, unable to get the shot off there, but the Tomahawks do have the possession, and they are still on the power play for 14 more seconds. Here's Jacobs with it in his stick, played into the middle but dropped. Picked back up by the Tomahawks. Jacobs over to Gansworth, lets the long shot go. Rebound picked up and stopped by Buffalo. 2 quick saves from Milwaukee Buffalo. Keeps us a 3-0 lead for the Allegany Junior Arrows. Loose ball picked up by George, fresh out of the penalty box. George flips it over to a teammate in Waylon Dowdy. Dowdy sends it over to the far side of the floor. Was a good start in this one for the Arrows, looking to keep that good start going. Watt over to the near side. Dowdy takes the shot. Goes right into the chest protector of Tanyan Davis as he will now start the clear for Tuscarora. Davis needs an option. Doesn't have one he likes right now, but able to find one out near midfield. Shiloh Bispop able to catch that ball. Now back the other way go the Junior Tomahawks. Stevens in the corner, trying to use his speed to create some space. Stevens into the middle. Bishop's pass deflected, picked up by Jacobs. Low bounce shot, deflects up and out of play. Possession will stay with Tuscarora. Matt Jones out there directing some traffic for the Tomahawks. Sends a low pass that gets by Gansworth into the corner. Gansworth has him streaking through the middle but can't get it back to Jones. Ball will go all the way down the length of the floor as Jacobs and Dowdy chase after it. Picked up by the Tomahawks, but they're going to run out of time as the shot clock hits 0 on Caden Littleby. And now Allegany will take over the possession. Colin Duncan flips it over to the far side. Quentin Jackson down low now for Allegany. Quickly to the near side, but can't hang on to that one is Duncan. And now we can hear Randy Chrysler letting his team know how he feels about their performance so far. Chrysler, one of the best coaches you'll find here in Western New York, but he is an intense coach. Got to hear some folks on the Creators Game podcast talk about watching him and against Six Nations in the Tomahawks game up at the ILA earlier this year. Talked about him making his team run laps and do wind sprints during the intermission because he was so upset with how they played. And he knows how to get the best out of his team. He did it earlier, and he might be starting to do it right here. Cameron Villavada gets Tuscarora on the board. And here you'll see Villavada getting up the floor in transition, able to get a step on his man as Israel White was just a bit behind. Nothing much that White could do there. Great play by Cameron Villavada in transition for Tuscarora. And now let's see if that starts to energize these Tomahawks. Was talking about how we've seen Randy Chrysler get his team energized in the past. Let's see if that goal can give him some juice, but instead it goes the other way. Allegany gets the 3-goal lead back. Kelvin George buries it. And here you can see George got a great pick from Delson Tallchief that knocked the defender off his balance and allowed George to get to the net and bury the shot to put the Allegany Junior Arrows back up by 3. Gansworth quickly off the draw. Down into the attacking zone, looks for an option and finds one cross 4. Jacobs goes to the far side. Back to the near side for Cash. Jacobs gets a pick. Jacobs looking for an option. Has a man on the crease, but Kyler can't hang on to that one. Loose ball picked up now by Gansworth. Gansworth takes a shot and scores. That's why you never give up on a play, folks. Jake Gansworth sticks with it, and he is rewarded for his efforts. And it is now a 4-2 lead for Allegany. You can see there, ball just takes a unlucky bounce on the Allegany defender right to Gansworth. Makes a nice move to create some separation between him and Jackson Kraus. Able to bury it for the goal. And now goals are coming fast and furious here in this one as Tuscarora turns the possession over. But it will be a penalty coming up to Allegany as it was behind the play, so no look at it. As Colin Duncan will head to the penalty box. It'll be the second power play of the game now for the Tuscarora Junior Tomahawks, as they look to try and cut this to a 1-goal game. 12:30 remaining. I know the scoreboard camera awfully blurry at the moment, but it is a 4-2 lead for Allegany with just under now 12:30 remaining here in the first period of play. Gansworth, the ball in his stick, all on the near side. Cash Jacobs, skip pass to Gansworth, down low, back for Jacobs. Gansworth, pass misses Mike Hayes and goes right to an Allegany defender. That's Jackson Kraus picking that one up. Kraus going to bring it up the near boards. Kraus flips it into the middle. Lower in the shoulder there is Hiram Watt. One-handed pass over to the far side of the floor as Braden John has it. John under no sort of pressure here as he's completely fine with this. Love to kill the 30 and get his team back on defense here, as that's some great work being done by the Arrows as they have got this penalty down to a minute. As Tuscarora remains on the man advantage. Gansworth onto the near side. Hayes takes the shot, but winds up in the padding of Buffalo. And 48 seconds now remain in the penalty to Colin Duncan, as Allegany able to get it up over the halfway line. White flips it over to Dowdy, and they're going to call 10 seconds, as I guess Arrows didn't meet the line to gain, and it'll be a turnover here, as Hayes goes to the far side. Gansworth down low, trying to beat Buffalo in the 5-hole is Ferguson, as Mogi Buffalo sends a long pass down the length of the floor. Good hustle chasing after that one is Quentin Jackson to secure the possession as he beat Gansworth in the foot race. Jackson going to go for a run along the near boards. Arrows are back to full strength. Watt onto the far side. Face dodge. Getting to the net there was Braden John, but Tanyan Davis makes the save. Davis sends an outlet pass to Lillaby. Lillaby flips it over to Keegan Stevens. Stevens into the middle. Jacobs quickly to the far side. Kyler cross-checked. Now sends it over to Gansworth. Long shot. Or excuse me, that was Matt Jones for Tuscarora. Jones gets his own rebound in the corner. Jones up top for Jacobs. Jacobs gets a pick in front of him, unable to use it. Sends it over to the far side, but Adam Kyler can't beat Mogi Buffalo here, as he will now start the breakout for Allegany. Kelvin George flips it to the far side of the floor. And then losing control there was Braden John, as Tuscarora gets the reset and able to bring it back up the floor here. As Asbel flips it to a friendly face as the Tomahawks go on the attack. Here comes Tuscarora stepping in and shooting. Dakota Ferguson, a bouncer to beat Buffalo. And it's a 4-3 lead for Allegany. And there you can see the great bounce shot into the top right corner from Dakota Ferguson. An excellent look there from the lefty forward to get Tuscarora's third goal of the game. 3 goals for Tusky, 3 different goal scorers. Let's see if that trend continues here as Gansworth secures the possession for Tuscarora. Sends it over to the far side for Villavada, one of the Tomahawk goal scorers in this game. Gansworth the other, and then, of course, Dakota Ferguson, the most recent goal scorer for Tuscarora. Ball moved onto the far side. Taking the shot there was Jones, but unable to beat Buffalo. John under some pressure on the near side. John trying to spin away from one. Loses his footing, able to get back to his feet. Somehow still has the ball. John flips it over and they score. What an effort from Braden John. Able to get it to his man Calvin George as the captains combined for Allegany's 5th goal. And you just got to commend the individual effort there from Brandon John, as he was able to fight through a number of Tusky stick checks and cross checks, able to get it over to his main man, Calvin George, who buries it for the 5th goal of the game for Allegany. Face-off down, draw controlled by Chad Hill Jr. for a moment. He'll lose possession, but Jackson Krause comes in to secure it for Allegany as the Arrows have a hot start here in this first period of play. They lead 5-3, and they extend it. Jackson Krause on the other end of the floor makes it a 6-3 lead for Allegany. And here you can see Kraus come in, sets a great pick for George, who is very aware of the situation, knows where his man is at all times, able to flip it back over to Kraus. As now it looks like we will have a goaltender change here for Tuscarora, as Tanyan Davis will get a rest, and now we will see Gavin Sauer into the net. And Davis, a very talented goalie here for Tuscarora, highly skilled, but right now just hasn't had the best start to his night as you know he would like. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him back into the game, as we've seen it sometimes at the pro level. Just pull your starter for a moment just to try and calm him down and, you know, give him some words of advice, and wonder if that's what's going to happen here with Davis, as he's on the bench currently with Gavin Sauer now in between the pipes. And this could just be Randy Chrysler's way of trying to spark his Tuscarora team, as now the Tomahawks go in transition. Getting a quick shot off there was via Vada, but unable to bury that one. Back the other way come the Arrows. John going to slow things down and play it over to Tall Chief. Delson Tall Chief starting his drive to the net. Flips it back onto the far side. Taking the shot there was Kraus, but missing wide. And no, they're going to say it was a reset, as I guess it caught a piece of Sauer. And now the Arrows still in possession here. George flips it forward. Low drive there, stopped by Sauer. Jackson Kraus once again getting the shot off for Allegany. Outlet pass doesn't connect for Tuscarora. Skips off the stick of Fryer. Goes right into the stick of Buffalo, as Allegany will make their way up the floor, but they'll turn it over. Tomahawks catch a break here. Beto getting to the net. Beto takes the shot and scores, but a crease violation means no goal for Bryce Beto and the Tomahawks. You be the judge. We'll give you another look at it here. Beto had a pick, but comes in, and yeah, that right foot was down. I think that was a good call by our officials on the floor. And now an off-ball call will give Tuscarora the possession as they go back the other way. Cash Jacobs looking to get the offense going here. Jacobs drives to the net and scores! Cash Jacobs buries it, and Tuscarora only trails by 2. And there you can see Jacobs had a lane to the net. Once he got a step on his man, you can throw some credit the way of Matt Jones as well, as he was able to seal the man on the crease, giving Jones a full lane to the net to bury that one, as Tuscarora now only down by 2. Gansworth goes to the far side. Taking that shot was via Vada, but a big save made by Buffalo. Now a chance for Allegany in transition. John takes a shot. Big save by Sauer. Left arm stop there from Gavin Sauer, as Tuscarora throws the ball the length of the floor and turns it over. Allegany in possession, but here you're getting another look at the breakaway save by Gavin Sauer, sticking that left arm up to deny Brandon John. Here is John. Second opportunity doesn't come to pass for him, as that one missed wide, and Allegany able to keep possession. Tall Chief sends one towards goal. Doesn't find the target. Fryer outlets forward for Kozlowski. Kozlowski in transition. Big save by Buffalo. Becoming a track meet here quickly. Low drive there from Jones goes awry, as possession will stay with Tuscarora. Ferguson onto the far side of the floor now. Back into the middle. Jacobs takes the shot. Denied by Buffalo. Buffalo leaves it for Duncan. Gotta hurry. Or else a 10-second violation could occur, which I think the arrows were cutting close. Duncan pressed up against the glass in the corner. Loses control of the ball, but fortunately for him, it pops out to Waylon Dowdy. Dowdy now onto the far side. John gets a pick. John down low. Quick shot on is stopped by Sauer. Colin Duncan letting the last shot go for Allegany. Kraus being double teamed, able to get it over to Jackson. Jackson picked it up and crunched against the glass. Now Jastreb has it for Tuscarora. Jastreb sends it forward. Here come the Tomahawks. Gansworth all alone scores! Jake Gansworth on a breakaway brings Tuscarora within one. And here you'll see the breakout from the Tomahawks as the long pass goes forward, connects with Gansworth as he makes no mistake, picks his spot perfectly. And it is a one-goal game here with 3:23 remaining in the first period of play as the Tomahawks look to try and come from behind here against Allegany, and they have tied it up. Cameron Villavada's second of the game, and we're all tied at 6. And here you can see Villavada right off the draw. Gets a step on Jimerson, takes it to the net, buries it hip high past Buffalo into the back of the net, and maybe the goaltending change worked here for Tuscarora as these Tomahawks seem to have a spark as they have a bit more pep in their step now as we are approaching 3 minutes to play here in the first period. In the middle for Allegany is George. Back onto the near side. That was Talchief who let it go. But Sauer loses control. And they're going to say that Richardson was in the crease. Or they might be calling Allegany's George for reaching in. I think that's what it is. As our official brought the possession back to the corner. I thought he was going to give it to Allegany for a moment, but no, it was for George stepping in the crease as Tuscarora nearly takes their first lead of the game. Long outside shot from Mike Hayes doesn't find the back of the net. Allegany fans want a penalty call, not going to get one. Dakota Ferguson in the corner, able to pick the ball up, send it over for his man in Bispop, who misses everything. Allegany will have possession. CJ's wondering, where's Cal Anderson? That's a good question, CJ. I don't know. He's not listed on the game sheet in this one, so we have him crossed off here today. Hopefully everything's all good with him and we see him back out there soon, but no Cal Anderson today for Tuscarora, and that's a big loss because Anderson, a mighty talented player here for the Tomahawks and a big threat on the attack. Here comes Tuscarora in transition. Tomahawks take this shot, but go wide of the net. Kozlowski streaking forward, thought about going to Lillaby, but decided to take the shot for himself instead. Minute 30 now remaining here in the first period of play. Stepping in, shooting there is Ruffalo. Unable to bury that one as the Dieuville Saint gets his first shot of the game. Now Gansworth on the far side. Plays it in the middle for Matt Jones. Quickly now to Stevens. Far side. Gansworth's long shot well wide of the net. It will go all the way down to Gavin Sauer as Tuscarora still in possession. Cash Jacobs into the middle looking for Gansworth, can't find him. Instead it goes to Ruffalo, who will just dump it into the netting. And now 52.9 seconds remain here in the first period. A 6-6 game that has been very entertaining to say the least. As bringing it up now is Talchief. Talchief surrounded by Tomahawks. 3 Tuscarora players combined to force the turnover. Jet Richardson, one of them for Tusky, as now the Tomahawks looking to create something here with just over 30 seconds remaining in the first period. 15 on the shot clock. Dakota Ferguson on the near side. Into the middle now. Mike Hayes. Hayes gets a shot off, but can't bury that one. Hayes gets his own rebound, but another save by Buffalo. Mogi Buffalo stepping up and making some big saves when called upon, and so is Gavin Sauer as he denies Brandon John. Quickly the other way is Lillaby, who will run out of time. And let's see if we can take a look at that last save by Gavin Sauer. And here you can see in transition, Brandon John, he is all over the place right now for Allegany. But a big save there by Gavin Sauer as he gets the right arm up to deny John on the break. As we have reached the end of the first period of play. What a first period it was. We're all tied up at 6 here, as it was Allegany who got things started quickly and early in the game, but it was Tuscarora who kept things going and tied this game up. As we'll give you a look here at the First Nations Junior B Lacrosse League standings before we head into our intermission. This was entering today with all the known games posted by the First Nations League. You can see Tuscarora out in front with a 4-1 record, 8 points so far for the Tomahawks. Six Nations Fire was in second. They have a 2-1 record, 4 points for them on the season. Only one known game so far for the Seneca War Chiefs, one of the powerhouses in this league, as they sit with a 1-0 record after their 15-2 win over this Tuscarora team. Tonawanda sits 0-3, but they're in fourth, courtesy of a goal differential tiebreaker that they hold over the 0-2 Allegany Arrows. As Allegany, with how they started this game, I don't think they're going to be winless much longer, but you got to play 2 more complete periods, as the Arrows are going to try and do here. At the end of one, it is a 6-6 game here on Blue Squatch Productions. Thank you for your patience and thank you for watching. And a big thank you as well to Grandma's Approved down at 2133 Lake Road in Seneca Falls, New York. Thank you for them for all their support. And thanks as well to Randy Chrysler, as he helps to make these streams possible. Be sure to head up to Randy's, get your gas up there, and check out all the great things that they have to offer. At the end of one, it's 6-6 here on Blue Squatch Productions. Back now at Cornerstone Arena. Once again, apologies for the terrible start. I'm just calling it how I want to call it because that's what I think it is. It's been terrible from me, so apologies for it. And now we have a penalty down on the floor. As you might have caught it, got to see Tuscarora take their first lead of the game. They now hold a 7-6 advantage. Sorry, I did not clip the replay, so that is not. We're not going to have a look at the penalty, but it will be a power play for the Allegany Junior Arrows, as they will get their first look on the man advantage for the first time today, as they try to now tie this game up. They were ahead for the whole first period, but have now fallen behind 7-6, as Allegany had all the momentum in the world starting this game, but needing to pick it back up after the Tomahawks have been able to snatch it from them. Here's Watt into the middle. George back to Watt. They play catch. Kelvin George lets the shot go. Turned away by Davis. Or excuse me, turned away by Sauer. Watt in the middle. George back for Watt. Can't connect on the pass. Watt gets it off the boards. Watt into the middle. Up top, letting the shot go was Duncan. Can't find the target. Here's Duncan. Got one today. Unable to get a second, but a nice save made by Gavin Sauer. That prevents him from doing so. Turned over. John back the other way. Denied by Sauer. Gavin Sauer making some plays for Tuscarora. As you can see, Brandon John looking for his hat trick. Starts to drive into the net. Drops it down low, but Gavin Sauer reads it all the way. And now Tuscarora looking to try and kill some more time on the penalty. Long outside shot there is turned away by Buffalo. As now he'll look to find the breakout, but instead he'll turn it over. Quick chance, and they score! Adam Chrysler, short-handed, gives Tuscarora an 8-6 lead. And you can see Buffalo's pass immediately disrupted as Chrysler picks it off. And ball is down as Quentin Jackson has it for Allegany. Long outside shot sneaks in. Colin Duncan with the outside rip for Allegany. Brings the Arrows back within one. Get another look at that. Just all kinds of time and room for Colin Duncan to step in and fire at home as he brings the Arrows within one now. Face off down and controlled here by the junior Tomahawks. Knocked to the floor there was Viavata, but Gansworth able to pick it back up and keep possession here for Tuscarora. Pass down low, looking for Chrysler, who tucks it home, but in the crease, says the official. Try and get you a quick look at it here, and you be the judge yourselves, as Allegany's Quentin Jackson brings the ball up the floor for the Arrows, able to flip it forward. Kraus down low. George is denied on the doorstep. Ball goes the length of the floor. Jackson Kraus picking it up for the Arrows. Kraus onto the near side for Brandon John. John looking for George off the pick, unable to hit him. Asbel Working hard in the corner for the Tomahawks, trying to take it away. Asbel flips it up to himself and gets possession. Good work from Ethan Asbel in the corner as he's able to transition the ball up the floor now for Tuscarora. Ferguson goes to his right. Driving into the net was Hayes. Hayes immediately stopped by his defender, Landon Cotter. Hayes still with it, looking for a pass. Hayes, toe drag, was being held there. Takes the shot, deflects up out of play, and it will be Tuscarora ball. Everybody kind of ran off the floor as the official did point the other way. So he was not hard to be confused as all 10 guys on the floor, all 10 runners thought it was Allegany ball. Nope, it was deflected. And Tuscarora keeps possession. Outside shot from Hayes doesn't find the target as that one will go all the way down to Gavin Sauer. Sauer throws the long pass forward for Kyler. Kyler, cross floor feed. And now it'll be an illegal screen call off ball here for Tuscarora that turns it over. John in transition, going for a bounce shot, but Sauer denies him. Ball picked up out of the crease as Colin Duncan reached his stick in over the crease and took the ball out of it. That gives possession to the Tomahawks. Bryce Beto with the ball in his stick. A number change for you all to be aware of. Beto now wearing number 28 as the Tomahawks get goal number 9. And here you'll get another look at it as Gansworth left all alone on the doorstep, and you cannot leave the Tuscarora captain, Jake Gansworth, that wide open because he will make you pay 9 times out of 10. That's the hat trick goal for Gansworth, and it's now a 9-7 lead for the Tomahawks. But just as I was mentioning, as the goal was scored, Bryce Beto no longer wearing number 90, now wearing Cal Anderson's number 28. So no, it's not Anderson out there joining us. It is Beto in a different jersey as he had to switch at the end of the first period. A reset here for the Tomahawks as Jet Richardson, the speedy transition player, brings the ball up the floor here for Tuscarora. Onto the far side. Toe drag there from Jacobs. Shot goes wide. Loose ball. Fought for out in the center part of the floor. And it will be a penalty coming up against Tuscarora as the Tomahawks a bit too aggressive there as Cash Jacobs will sit. See if we caught the end of it here. And oh yeah, you'll get to see that couple hacks and whacks. And it's that last cross check, I think, from Cash Jacobs that is what did it, as that causes the penalty. Jacobs will sit for 2 or less as Allegany back on the man advantage. Watt plays the ball down low. John goes back to Hiram Watt. Into the middle for Kelvin George. Watt. George. They'll play catch. Back and forth we go. George now goes to the far side. Duncan. Tall Chief. Colin Duncan has Tall Chief to his left. Steps in, shoots right into the chest of Gavin Sauer. Now quickly back the other way. Here comes Tuscarora on a break off the post. Viavada looking for his hat trick. Unable to get it there. Allegany will have possession. Going to try and give you a quick look at it here as Viavada all alone on the breakaway, but can't beat Buffalo as Allegany still on the man advantage with just over a minute remaining in the penalty to Tuscarora's Cash Jacobs. Outside shot goes wide there from the Arrows as now stepping in, looking to create the shot there was Duncan. And it will be a slashing call now coming up against Tuscarora as we'll have a 2-man advantage for Allegany. And yeah, that arm already up. Don't have a look at that penalty. Apologies for that. But with exactly 10 minutes remaining here in the second period of play. The Allegany Arrows will have a 5-on-3 man advantage for 53 seconds. And then once that is expired, it will be a power play for Tuscarora, or will be a 5-on-4 situation for Allegany once Tuscarora is back out of the box. 9-7 the score here on Blue Squatch Productions as Allegany is called timeout. Back now and ready for the Allegany power play as the Arrows are 5-on-3 right now. A golden opportunity for Allegany to try and get back into this ball game, cut the deficit down to 1, and maybe even tie it up. We'll see. First shot in the back of the net from the Arrows, Calvin George. And that's the goal the Arrows were looking for as Calvin George gets his third goal of the game. That's the hat trick as he beats Sauer to the 5-hole. An excellent rip there from George as it is now a 9-8 scoreline. I know the board says something different, but the Arrows do have 8 and only trail by 1. And they are still on the power play for another minute 35. So a chance to tie this ball game up here on the man advantage. Let's see if Allegany can do so. Hiram Watt will take the toss from Quentin Jackson. Watt thought about going to George, instead goes to John. Skip pass now to Calvin George in the corner. Hiram Watt in the middle. John, Brandon John. Thought about stepping in, decides against it. Cross floor pass connects. Second attempt doesn't go in. Rebound out in front. Somehow doesn't end up in the back of the net. Fortunate break there for the Tomahawks. Now, can they capitalize on it at the other end? Viavata trying to run into some space. Looking to kill some time here on the penalty. Viavata. One-on-one with John. Spins away from him once. Throws the cross-floor pass that goes off the stick of Cash Jacobs and out of play. Kelvin George will start with the ball here for the Junior Arrows as Allegany brings the ball up the floor here. George goes to Brandon John on the near side. John, skip pass for Duncan. George, down low. Tall Chief. Duncan, back to Tall Chief. Colin Duncan has some room. Steps in and scores! We're all tied up. Colin Duncan gets his hat trick goal as Allegany ties the game up at 9. And there you can see Duncan has all kinds of time and room to step in and shoot as Beto had to stay in further back in his house trying to block the shot and cut the angle down for his goaltender as that stick knocked right out of the hands of Jones. Great stick check defending there from the Arrows as Allegany back on the attack. The score now correct on your screen. It is a 9-9 scoreline as Duncan nearly changed that, but puts it right off the left pad of Sauer. Colin Duncan in the corner. Takes a cross check up near the head. Allegany fans wanted a call. Not going to get one. Lets a low shot go, and they score. Colin Duncan sticks with the play and gives Allegany a 10-9 lead. My goodness, what an individual effort here from Colin Duncan. Took a cross check up high and then a couple late cross checks and slashes from the Tomahawk defenders, but still able to stick with the play and bury it for his 4th goal of the game, as now all of a sudden Allegany leading the Tuscarora Junior Tomahawks 10-9, as this has been a great back and forth affair between these two teams so far. Onto the near side now is Chrysler, quickly getting to the middle, but a great late trail check there from Dowdy to knock that shot off its path. Tall Chief off the bench, takes the shot, denied by Sauer, but they're going to say he was in the crease anyways. We'll give you a quick look at it here. And yeah, Sauer makes a big save there, but the call goes against Allegany either way, and Tuscarora will have possession. Outside shot there denied by Buffalo, as Jacobs the one who let it fly. Duke Jimerson secures the possession for Allegany in the corner. Takes a heavy cross check, but still running in transition. Jimerson in the middle for Tall Chief. Those two can't connect. Tall Chief lands in the crease, so possession awarded to Tuscarora. Love the look of the stick that Jimerson's using down there, the traditional stick, the woody out there. Love seeing that, and I bet he loves playing with it, as those ones always fun to throw around with in the backyard and use in games too. Great to see him out there with it here as Tuscarora back on the attack. Tomahawks let the outside shot go. Jones is denied. Gansworth secures it. Fresh 30 here for Tuscarora. Gansworth goes cross floor. Long shot from Hayes right into the pads of Buffalo. Landon Cotter bringing the ball up the floor now for Allegany. He'll pass it forward and head to the bench. George driving to the net, looking for a shot, but unable to get one off, as he was claiming he was being held, and I think he does have a case. Tuscarora defender seemed a bit over the top of him, but officials going to let him play here as the Tuscarora Tomahawks back on the attack. Bispop lets a long shot go, doesn't find the target. Rebound snagged by George. Kyson George goes through the crease, and possession will be awarded to Tuscarora. Tomahawks wanted to go quick, but some miscommunications will prevent that, as Asbel will pick it up and start the attack now for Tuscarora. Jacobs goes to the near side. Kyler into the middle. Outside shot there from Jones is blocked in front, and I think that hit Jones' own teammate out in front. Tough break there for the Tomahawks, as it'll be nothing more than a painful turnover, as Allegany back on the attack. Colin Duncan with it on the far side. Duncan trying to get a step on his defender, but a couple slides pick him up. Spins away from one, gets into the middle. Duncan with the shot wide. Rebound shot is stopped, as Quentin Jackson had the second attempt, but it was a great effort there from Colin Duncan, as he was going for goal number 5. Just under 4:30 remaining now. Hayes to Gansworth. Tuscarora scores. Gansworth on the crease puts it home, and the Tomahawks tie this game up at 10. And you can see the pass into the middle from Adam Kyler for Mike Hayes. Quickly down low. Gansworth tucks it right over the left shoulder of Buffalo for the 10th Tomahawk goal of the game, as the junior Tomahawks win the draw again, and we'll have possession in the attacking zone. Hayes outside, throwing in a little toe drag, but unable to beat his man. Gansworth gets a pick, switches defenders. Gansworth starting to drive in, and his stick knocked right out of his hands. In the middle, looking to let the shot go was Jones, but a late trail check denies him. And now Allegany bringing it back up the floor. Jackson with 3:34 remaining will pass it off to a friendly face coming off the bench in Brandon John. John gets a pick from Watt, loses control, picks the ball back up, knocked down. George able to keep possession though. Down low, Duncan looking for the shot, but Sauer turns that one away. Gavin Sauer starts the breakout now. Jet Richardson with a great first move to beat his man. Richardson brings the ball forward. Tuscarora going on the prowl here. Brady Ruffalo plays his collegiate lacrosse with the Dieuville Saints. Richardson scores! An outside blast from Jet Richardson puts Tuscarora in front by 1. There you can see the good passing by the junior Tomahawks as the defenseman Jet Richardson getting up into the play, letting the outside shot go for his first goal of the game and the 11th goal for the junior Tomahawks, as this draw won here by Allegany's Quentin Jackson. Jackson played over to the near side of the floor. In the middle is Watt. Now under the near side is Kraus. George. Long outside look there from Duncan is denied by Sauer. Rebound not controlled yet. Fighting hard for it is Jastreb for Tuscarora, and he's able to get it forward to a friendly face in Caden Lillaby. Lillaby in transition, 2-on-2, gets to the net, has a look, but is stopped by Buffalo. Second attempt is denied as well. Buffalo really stepping up and making the big saves. Fighting hard here for the junior Tomahawks is Kyler, but he is unable to beat Buffalo there, and now they're going to call it back in on Allegany, and you can start to feel the momentum going the way of Tuscarora. The home fans making some noise. Here's a look for Ferguson, whose shot is blocked in front. Loose ball snagged by Cotter. Cotter looking to bring it up the far boards, but he is sandwiched there by a few different Tomahawks. Loose ball picked up. Ferguson scores! Dakota Ferguson gives Tuscarora the 2-goal lead back. Sustained possessions can lead to goals, and it does right here for Tuscarora as Ferguson picks up the loose ball and puts it right past the goaltender Buffalo to give Tuscarora the 12-10 lead. And the Tomahawks not done yet. Minute 20 remain in the period. Tuscarora looking to add some more. Gansworth quickly down low, but the shot is stopped by Buffalo. That was Keegan Stevens right on the doorstep, looking to give the junior Tomahawks a 3-goal advantage. 1 minute to play here in the second period. George forced into the corner. A pair of Tomahawks slide to him. Pass over for Duncan. His shot goes wide. And you know, when you got a double team on someone, that means another player is going to be open. Colin Duncan was there, but the shot goes awry and doesn't find the target. And clock is ticking here. 32 seconds left in the period. Onto the far side now. Stepping in and shooting there is Cash Jacobs. Ball goes out of play. Kyler gonna hold the ball as Sauer is at the bench. 6-on-5 now for Tuscarora as that one nearly tucked in by Ruffalo on the crease. Long shot for the net, doesn't find the open net. And at the end of 2, it is a 12-10 lead for the Tuscarora Junior Tomahawks over the Allegany Junior Arrows here at Cornerstone Arena. As we would like to just quickly here say thank you to Grandma's Approved at 2133 Lake Road in Seneca Falls, New York. Thank you for all your support. And to Randy Chrysler as well. Be sure to stop by Randy's, get your gas up at Randy's, and check out everything that they have to offer up there. The score at the end of 2, 12-10, lead for Tuscarora here on Blue Squatch Productions. Back now on Blue Squatch Productions as we are underway here in the third period of play, as we have had a close and intense battle between the Tuscarora Junior Tomahawks and the Allegany Junior Arrows. The Arrows have the possession here to start the third period. It was Allegany who got the game started on the right foot, as they held an early advantage, but a goaltending change and some momentum plays that went the way of Tuscarora have helped propel the Tomahawks in front. They lead it now 12-10 here in the third period of play. It has been Jake Gansworth and Colin Duncan who have been starring in this one for their squads, as Gansworth with 4 goals, Colin Duncan with 4 goals. Let's see who's going to make the biggest difference for their team here in the third when it all matters the most, as the shot there stopped as Brandon John let it go. He's limping off to the bench in some discomfort. John had a great start to this game. We hope to see him back out there. Hope he is okay, as the shot from Jacobs goes wide. Mike Hayes with it on the near side. Hayes lets a low shot go, turned away by Buffalo. Hayes doing his best to try and box out for Cash Jacobs, but Jacobs unable to come from behind and get it. A swinging stick check from Hayes allows for him to knock the ball free, but it ultimately will end up with Tuscarora, as that one a push from behind, no whistle, as Tomahawks could have a case to be a little upset there, as that looked like a penalty, but officials say play on. Seen some tough checks go both ways in this one. Hayes, long shot there off the right leg pad of Buffalo. Jimerson sends a long pass forward right off the chest protector of Sauer in a bit of an awkward spot, and it allows for George to pick it up and then lose control. Tuscarora back the other way. Here's Hayes on a break. Hayes scores! Mike Hayes buries the breakaway opportunity, and Tuscarora leads by 3. And there you can see the long outlet pass that connects with Mike Hayes, and he has all kinds of time to beat Buffalo on that breakaway, and he gives his Tomahawks a 3-goal lead here with 17:37 remaining in the third period of play. Tuscarora has played, this is now their 6th game of the season. Last time they met Allegany, it was a much different story. 22-5, the final score in that one. Even if Allegany's not able to come away with the victory today, the Arrows can be very proud of their effort and how they have been able to close the gap here with the First Nations leading Tuscarora Tomahawks here, as they are 4-1. Allegany and announced 0-2. There were some games in between the start of the season and now that have not yet had results posted for Allegany. So I have them as 0-2, and so does the First Nations website. They're listed as being in 5th. You know they want to change that here, and more big plays from these two guys could go a long way to doing so, as Duncan lets the initial shot go. John gets the rebound. Here's Watt, draws 2 defenders, passes it up top. Duncan lets a long shot go off the leg pad of Sauer, as Gavin Sauer kicks that right leg out and makes a nice save here for the Junior Tomahawks, as Allegany will turn it over. Tuscarora bringing it back the other way. The speedy Jet Richardson plays it for Jacobs. Jacobs gets past 1. Over to Hayes in the middle. Bounce shot misses. Rebound corralled here by Stevens. Onto the far side of the floor. Driving in now. Taking the shot is Jones, up off the shoulder of Buffalo and out of play. Fresh 30 now for the Tomahawks. Outside shot from Kyler doesn't get through. And officials going to give the ball to Allegany. Kyler clamoring that it deflected off an Arrow defender, but he's not going to get the call, but it don't matter. 4 Tomahawks combined to force the turnover. And that is something that Tuscarora has done so well all game long. Force these turnovers. Jacobs on the doorstep, steps in the crease. Try and give you a quick look at that here as Buffalo now sends the outlet pass forward for Quentin Jackson. And there you can see Jacobs go into the crease as Watt into the middle. Looking for George, gets the shot off, but save made by Gavin Sauer. Loose ball fought for in the corner. Who's going to come away with this one? It's Tuscarora, but they're going to say that Caden Lillaby went back in through the crease, so it'll be a turnover here, and ball will go to Allegany. The Junior Arrows down by 3. Led at points throughout this game, but have been trailing since about midway through the second, as now here come the Tomahawks. Jazzstrap in transition 3-on-1, but the Tomahawks will have to slow things down as Allegany able to get numbers out the back door. Ferguson thought about the long shot, decides better of it. Gives it to Gansworth. His outside shot goes up off a banner here at Cornerstone Arena and out of play. Moving screen call there will result in the turnover as now Hiram Watt bringing the ball up the floor for the Junior Arrows. Hiram Watt flips it to Colin Duncan. Duncan back up top, Tall Chief. Far side for John. Into the middle, Watt all alone. Drew a penalty as Watt holds on to it. Looks for Tall Chief, who's not going to go and get it. And instead it'll be a power play now for the Junior Arrows as we'll try and get a look at the penalty. And might have just been able to see a bit of it, as no matter, the power play will go to Allegany. The Arrows needing this power play here as they trail 13-10 with now just under 14 minutes to go. Penalty goes to Evan Fryer. Outside shot from Watt is stopped by Gavin Sauer. Tuscarora looking to strike quickly on a break, but Villavada unable to hang on to that one. Cash print up. Scoops up the loose ball and sends it forward. Duncan goes down low into the corner. Up top for George. Onto the far side for John. John for George now in the middle. Down low, Tall Chief. Duncan. Up top is John. Long shot there from John is stopped by Gavin Sauer. George down low, looking for John. Low shot there, goes wide. Loose ball snagged here by Duncan. In the middle, George, shot, scores! The captain, Kelvin George, buries it. And the Arrows now only trail by 2. And you could see a great feed into the middle from Brandon John to find Kelvin George and help put the Arrows' 11th goal on the board and bring them within 2. As now a big face-off here at center, as it will be one in, controlled by the Junior Tomahawks. Jake Gansworth on that draw here for Tuscarora as Cash Jacobs catches that ball coming off the bench. Man in the middle is Jones. Quickly played down low for Gansworth. Gansworth looking to create the open shot. Unable to here. Quick stick shot on from Jacobs, goes wide. Great look there from Gansworth, but Allegany will get possession. Slipping and sliding is Landon Cotter, but able to get back to his feet and send the pass forward for Watt. Hiram Watt flips it over for Duncan. Colin Duncan Driving to the net, draws the double team, flips it for John. Watt in the middle, shot, stopped by Sauer. Rebound, grabbed by Duncan. Tall Chief, face dodge, gets to the net, scores! Delson Tall Chief brings Allegany within one. And there, Tall Chief with a great face dodge move to get past Herb Bryant and tuck it past Gavin Sauer for the 12th Allegany goal of the game. And this Arrows team, despite the winless record, not going away. They want that first win of the season. They want it at Tuscarora's expense, but the Tomahawks looking to prevent that. Viavata in transition again, but stopped by Buffalo. Mike Hayes misses that pass. It caroms into the stick of Buffalo as he will start the clear attempt for Allegany. Buffalo's got to get going here. Being urged by the Allegany faithful looking on. Calvin George sends a pass forward. Looking for Jackson. Can't get it to him, but it'll carom off the boards and fall to Jackson. Shot goes off the side netting. Loose ball. Jet Richardson hangs onto it. Takes a swinging slash from Jackson, but able to go through it and get the ball into the attacking zone now for his squad. Jacobs flips it back for Hayes. Hayes goes cross floor with the pass. Jacobs in the middle, steps in. Save made by Buffalo. Loose ball is snagged here by Buffalo as he will bring it forward as Cotter lost control. Picking it back up, though, is Cotter. Cotter takes a heavy slash there from a Tomahawk, but able to get the pass forward to John. John in the middle for Watt. Extra man down low. Duncan with a shot. Save made by Sauer. Loose ball. Fought for. Corralled here by the Tomahawks. Evan Fryer. Fryer able to get to the corner and evade John. Flips it back. Stevens onto the far side. Quickly up top. Fryer looking back into the corner for Ruffalo. Can't find him. Ruffalo picks it up. Fryer now. Quickly to the near side for Jacobs. In the middle, looking for a pass to Ruffalo, but he can't hang on to that one. Pass will carry him right to Buffalo, who will start the breakout. John. Soft toss over to George. Double shift there for Brandon John, so he will get a rest as Kelvin George pressed up against the glass. Quickly, only 6 seconds left to work with for George and the Arrows. Might be best to just let that one sit in the corner, which he will do. It's a shot clock violation against the Allegany Junior Arrows with 9:44 remaining here in the third period of play. What a game we have had. 13-12, the lead for the Junior Tomahawks. Here on Blue Squatch Productions is Jet Richardson coming out the O-door this time. Flips it to the far side. Outside shot there. Read perfectly by Buffalo as Matt Jones letting it go. Farmer sends it forward for Duncan. Duncan trying to run into some space here. Takes some cross checks from Viavata. Duncan looking to find Hiram Watt, but unable to do so here. The Tomahawks take it away. Good defending there by Cameron Viavata. Now Mike Hayes in transition. Going to slow things down now while some Tomahawks come off the bench. Hayes spins to the corner. Plays it back up top. Quick pass onto the far side. Looking for Gansworth. Doesn't connect, but the loose ball picked up by Jacobs. Now Hayes into the middle. Hayes shot blocked in front. Don't know who soaked that one, but it was soaked by someone, and it will go down as a shot clock violation. Let's see if we got that as Hayes shot. That was soaked by an arrow as Landon Cotter got up to block that one. So good thing for Allegany. That ball stayed in play, or else it would have been another possession for the Tomahawks. John now being hounded there by two Tuscarora defenders. Able to get the pass off. John has some room now. Gets to the middle. John takes the shot and scores! What a goal, Brandon John. He's pumped up after that one. Rightfully so. Allegany has tied it here at 13. John, great move, gets to the front of the net and finishes this one so nice. You gotta see it again here as, well, maybe not, but so nice we're only going to see it once. But back the other way goes Tuscarora via Vada in the corner. Kyler for Gansworth. Man off the bench is Cash Jacobs. Toe drag into the middle, but a big save made by Buffalo. Long pass here for Allegany. Goes to no one, as everyone lost sight of that one except our officiating crew, as they will give the ball to Tuscarora. Approaching 7:30 remaining here in the third. Outside rip there, turned away by Buffalo. Jet Richardson secures the possession. Getting to the front of the net was Kyler. Can't finish that one. Dowdy gets it forward for Duncan. Duncan has it along the near side. Takes a heavy cross check there. John up top. John takes a bouncer, goes up off of Sauer and out of play. Watt in the corner. Plays it for John up top. John spins past his defender. Picked up by Richardson. Return feed for Watt, doesn't connect. And now Jet gonna turn on the Jets. Here's Richardson, 2-on-1. Numbers for Tuscarora. Richardson denied by Buffalo. Richardson and Lillaby in transition, but unable to come up with the goal here. Now Lillaby again. Spins past one. Nice play from Lillaby to keep hold of the ball for Tuscarora as the Tomahawks look to break the deadlock. It stands at 13. Cash Jacobs with some room in the middle. All kinds of time for Jacobs. Loose ball picked up. Score! Matt Jones, a nasty BTB goal, gives Tuscarora the lead. Oh my goodness. Outside shot from Jacobs, picked up by Jones, who goes BTB to finish it. Man, what a nice goal for Matt Jones. I believe his first of the game, and what a way to get your first of the game to break the deadlock. Matt Jones helps to give Tuscarora a 14-13 lead with now under 6 minutes to play. John under some heavy pressure out towards the center stripe. Able to avoid it for the time being. We've seen him pull off some crazy tricks before. Somehow still with the ball is John, but three Tomahawk defenders enough to take it away. Hayes in transition, one-on-one. Can he get a look? No. Good job by Tall Chief to force him to the corner. Now Cash Jacobs with it up top. Jacobs has some room. Goes to the far side. Outside look there. Blocked in front. And now we will have a penalty coming up against Allegany and Tuscarora. Both guys will go, as you'll get to see the outside shot there. Unsure of who it went off of. Might have been the Allegany defender right in front, but either way, it will be a penalty coming up against Allegany and Tuscarora. Both men go, as for the Tomahawks, Matt Jones will sit and Quentin Jackson in the sin bin for Allegany. 4-on-4 lacrosse. Let's see who this benefits the most here. Lots of open floor out there. Cash Jacobs toe drags to create some space. Has a man in the middle, takes the shot, but Buffalo makes the save and stops Dakota Ferguson. Buffalo still with it, looking for an option, doesn't have one he likes, able to find a man short, as George able to get it up over halfway. Ball will bounce into the Tomahawk bench, and possession will go to Tuscarora. Gansworth brings it into the zone, plays it to the far side. Now Jacobs on the near side. Jacobs has man slide to him right away. Richardson with the pass. Now Gansworth. Nice pick from Richardson, but the shot from Jake Gansworth is stopped by Buffalo. Landon Cotter connects on the pass to Calvin George. George gets to the net, but rings it off the post. Back the other way go the Tomahawks, who have a break of their own. Quick shot, just wide of the net. Evan Fryer nearly gave his Tomahawk team a 2-goal lead. But Buffalo cuts down the angle and helps to force Fryer to put it wide, as now here come the junior Tomahawks. Still on the attack, outside look there from Ruffalo. Doesn't find the back of the net. Tough break there for Brady. Someone who is quite the talented player, having a rough day today, as he expresses some frustration heading back to the bench. Don't worry, Brady, you're not the only DUville guy having a tough day here today, as this one, not a masterpiece, but it's something here, as that one soaked out in front. Mike Hayes takes one for the team there. That one right up off the head. Hope he is okay, but the Tomahawks, Lillaby streaking in transition, puts it wide. 2 straight breakaway opportunities for the Tomahawks that don't come to pass. Back the other way. Tuscarora's Jones puts it wide again. Loose ball. Not snagged by anybody as of yet, bouncing away from everyone. Officials gave Allegany the possession, so a reset here for the Arrows. They have the fresh 30. Tuscarora able to get it back, though. Viavata bringing the ball up the floor. Jet Richardson off the bench. Goes to Gansworth. Gansworth has some room. Onto the far side. Jones looking to create a look here. Closed down well. Outside shot off the backboards and back of the net. Jet Richardson runs out of time, and it's a shot clock violation against Tuscarora with just over 2 minutes to go here in the third period of play. The Allegany Arrows trail the Tuscarora Tomahawks 14-13. And good seeing Mike Hayes back out there for the junior Tomahawks, as he took a heavy shot off the head, as Watt looks to let one go. Can't get it through. Loose ball picked up in the corner by Jestrep. Jestrep plays it forward. With it is Viavata. Viavata closed down quickly by Farmer. Viavata going to flip it to a man coming off the bench in Hayes. Hayes, bounce shot, scores! That's the insurance goal the Tomahawks were looking for. And it comes from Mike Hayes, who puts Tuscarora ahead by 2. And you can see Hayes does a good job, gets to the net, and buries that one 5-hole to beat Buffalo. And Tuscarora leads Allegany with a minute 33 left in this period by a 2-goal margin. As this one picked up by Jacobs right off the draw. Can he make it a 3-goal lead? No, off the post for Cash Jacobs. Jacobs beat everything but the post. As you can see right off the draw, Cash Jacobs takes it down and rings the iron, as he nearly put this one out of reach. Jacobs content to kill time here. Allegany needs to get the ball back. The Tomahawks want to use the full 30. In the middle was Jones. Pass doesn't connect. Jacobs nearly with the one-handed pickup. Falls instead to Stevens. Behind the net, he'll run out of time. And it's a shot clock violation against Tuscarora. And now The official going to give the ball back to the Tomahawks. Much to the confusion of everyone in attendance, as I guess it popped up out of play. So Tuscarora will have the ball after their timeout with 46.9 remaining here in the third period of play. Back now, ready for the remaining 46.9 seconds here as Allegany looking to force a turnover and try and get the ball back as the Arrows trail by 2. 15-13 the score. Allegany not bringing enough pressure right now as they need to get that ball back in a hurry. The Tomahawks are more than content to let this clock bleed down to 0 with the 2-goal advantage that they hold. Jones in the corner looking to get a shot off. He does. Crunched after the fact, but a crease violation called that will give the ball to Allegany. But is it too little too late? The Arrows trail by 2 with 17.6 remaining here in the third period of play. Empty net for Allegany as the Junior Arrows bring the ball up the floor in need of 2 goals here if they want to get their first ever win over the Tuscarora Junior Tomahawks. Got to shoot it here. Duncan, long rip, denied by Sauer. Rebound into the corner, and that will do it. The Tuscarora Junior Tomahawks hang on and defeat the Allegany Junior Arrows 15-13 for their 5th win of the season. Tuscarora improves to 5-1 on the season. One of their best starts in team history. Last year, Tuscarora won 5 games. They were 5-5 last year. Already through their first 6, the Tomahawks have won 5 of them. So a great start to the year for Randy Chrysler's squad as they improved to 5-1. Their next game will be right back here at Cornerstone Arena on June 5th, where they take on the Six Nations Fire in an 8 p.m. contest. After that, they will stay home for a big tilt against the Seneca War Chiefs on the 18th of June. We'll close out the month on the road against the War Chiefs on the 23rd of June, and then against Six Nations on the 28th. As for Allegany, the Arrows fall to 0-3 on the season. Easily their closest game so far. Only a 15-13 loss. The other one's 19-10 against Six Nations and 22-5 against this same Tuscarora team. So a lot of progress there for the Allegany Arrows, but Still not the result they were looking for. They will fall to 0-3. They got to get ready for a tough Tonawanda Braves team as they got to take on the Junior Braves tomorrow in what should be an exciting game at Logan Field. And then my next listed game for Allegany is after that one is on the road against the Seneca War Chiefs. That one listed in the initial First Nations League schedule, but not put in the revised schedule after the announcement of Tyendinaga not playing in the league this year. So wonder if that game is still set to be played, but either way, they will face the Tonawanda Braves tomorrow, and then their next home game on the 4th of June against the Seneca War Chiefs. That'll be all for now from Cornerstone Arena. I have been Trevor Butts saying so long and thank you for watching. The final score, 15-13 in favor of the Tuscarora Junior Tomahawks here on Blue Squatch Productions.